traders, welcome back to today's session of looking at what we are expecting tomorrow. Tomorrow being the 11th of October, and what are the support and resistance levels that we have for tomorrow. As usual, before we start, if you're liking the contents of these videos, please like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and click on the notification icon. Let us now get back to the monthly chart. As you see here, we came down to this 5814.25 line, which was the close of the prior month, and we could not fall below that. We actually came down to the 11.25 areas, but we actually bounced immediately above to that 5814 line. So this particular line at 5814 will continue to be a very strong support. And if we are coming down below that, we can get to this 580608 area, and then we will see if we are bouncing from there. Otherwise, on the monthly chart, we can come down to the 572122 levels as well. However, there are other support and resistance areas prior to that on the lower time frame, so we'll take a look at them when we go there. Now, if the monthly chart is able to get out of this previous high at 584756, this can be the next target for the bulls on the monthly chart at the 5946 levels once again. But for that, we will have to break out of this current all-time high. We will have to get above that daily 1:1 target, and then we can see whether we are able to cross over 5900, 5933, and then it becomes highly possible that we can get to this 5946 level as a target on the monthly chart. Now we also need to remember, if this 5725 area is getting broken down at this point, the next support will be on this monthly trend line that we have, and that will be at the 5692 area again. And below that, we can get to this 5667 to the 5656 areas, and then we can come down to these levels subsequently. And if we come back down here to the 5554 to the 5568 area, I am expecting there will be another bounce from here once again. So those are all the details that we have on the monthly chart right now. Let us move on to the weekly chart at this point. Now, if you look at the weekly chart, we did have this wedge. We went above this wedge. We touched the 5846 area, and now we have pulled back. We did get back to the close of yesterday, but today this 5829.5 area or the 5830 area has been providing consistent resistance. So we need to see that we are above this area. We are above this particular wedge line, which happens to be at the 40 level. So once we are above that 38 to the 40 level and we hold that, and we can get above this particular all-time high, then there is a big possibility that we will be able to reach the targets that we have on the upside. The next targets above this will be at the 5.5 level, and then at the 6.6 to the 6.7 level, at the 7.3 level, at the 8.4 level, and finally to the 9.4 to the 9.6 area on the upside. We will have these levels marked on the lower time frame chart or the RTH 5-minute chart. On the downside, we actually broke down of this 5822 area, but we could not come to the 5801, which was the next support. So if we are breaking down this 5822 and we are getting below the low of today, this 5800 or the 5799 area can be easily achieved by the bears, and then we will see if the price is bouncing from here or we are going to come down from these levels. If we are not bouncing from here, the next major support will be at the 579190 area, and after that we can see ourselves at 5784, and then we can come down to the 50% of the current week at the 5773 area once again. Now, if the bears actually manage to do that, if they've actually managed to get it to the 5773 area, then there is a big possibility that we will find a very good bounce from here. Otherwise, we can come down to the close of August, and then we will see if the levels below are attracting the price again. On the weekly chart, we also need to remember that we are currently in the third leg of the move. We have the wedge there at the top. So if the bulls are giving up at this point, a good pullback may be possible. Also, the fact that we have actually completed that 123-point ATR on this weekly chart, we may not see very good upside. So we will have to see tomorrow by the end of the week how the candle has ended, and then based on that we can make further analysis. For now, the market is not bearish. We just had a pullback after the 100-point move that we had yesterday. So as long as we are able to hold on to this 5800 or the 5799 areas, there is still a possibility that the market can move back to the upside. And once we come to this 5800 areas, we will see that whether we are able to come back above this 5822 levels. And then we will target the 5830s and the 5846, and then the subsequent levels to the upside. But as long as the 3840 and the previous ATH is not taken out, we will not be confident that the price will be able to move up to the higher targets. Let us now take a look at the daily chart. So on the daily chart, we just have a small inside bar today. So it is highly possible that it can even work as a bull flag and it will continue to the upside. And if we are getting a 1 is to 1 of today's inside bars move to the upside, it can bring us up to the 587576 area again. And at 5883 level, we already have a measured move on of the daily chart. If we are getting above the previous high and we are continuing to the upside, the 75 to 83 levels are very easily achievable by the bulls. On the downside, again, we will have to see if this 5830 area is again breaking down, and after that, we are breaking down this 5822 area and we are holding below that. Then there is a possibility that we will come down to this 5812 or the 1.5 level that we had today. Below that, the 5808 to the 5804 area will provide a very good support. If we do not bounce from there, we will come down to the 5800 to the 5798 levels, and then we can even come down to the 5785 and 5773 levels here again. What I'm expecting is if the price comes down to the 5773 level, we can actually get a bounce. If we do not get a bounce, then maybe we are trying to do another leg to the downside of this expanding triangle. I will remove this channel for now because we are far out of the channel at this point of time and that channel did not have any more meaning. So let us now take a look at the 4-hour intraday chart. So on this particular chart, this was the first reversal attempt. This is the second reversal attempt that is happening. And if you look at it here, this was the first leg that came down. We went back up. We did a second leg down here. And then this was an inside bar on the 4-hour chart. And after that, we did come one more leg down to the downside. So at this particular point in time, we have done a three-legged pullback on the 4-hour chart. And this was our first entry long, and after that we had the pullback, and this is our second entry long at this point of time. We will come back tomorrow and see exactly at what position the price is, how many legs upside or downside the price has done, or if the price is continuing to move in a sideways fashion. What is highly possible is that tomorrow we create another trading range, and towards the end of the day we can break out of this previous ATH and create a new high again. However, since it is the end of the week, there will be some expectations that some of the bulls will be taking profit and there will be some wick at the top of the weekly bar. Now, talking about support and resistance on the 4-hour chart, if we are breaking down below this 5811.75, this 5808 to 5804 area will be a very strong support that we saw on the higher time frames as well. If we are breaking that down and if we are breaking down the 5800, then the 5794 area will become the next major support on the 4-hour chart. After that, the next support will be at the 5781 levels, and then we can get down to the 5772 to the 5767 levels here. Below that, 5758 will be another good support. And if we are continuing to come down, we know that this 5735 to 5724 area has been a buy zone. But if we look at it, we have tried to get through this once, twice, three, four, five, six times, and seven times. So this area may actually become very weak. And if the bears become strong, and if we are actually going to come down to these levels, it is highly possible that we will break down this level at this point of time, and we will continue to go deeper down. On the upside again, this 5821.75 or the 5822 area, that will continue to be a very good support. After that, we have this 5830 area. If we are able to stay above this and we can get above these highs, above the 584041 area, then we can come and retest the all-time high. And if we are doing a 1 is to 1 of just the CPI data bar, that brings us to the 5875 5873 area, and that is completely in accordance to what we were looking at on the daily chart. If you also see that the price did come down towards the EMA on the 4-hour chart, but it kept the gap open. So if we see multiple bars now moving up to the upside, and once we break out of this, there will be a good possibility that the price will actually move to the upside and get these targets between 5873 and 5883. Now we are in this particular channel on the 4-hour chart, and if you see, this was the first touch, this was the second touch that happened today, and then we pulled back up from here. So we will have to see if we are getting above these highs again, and at some point of time we can come and touch this particular wedge line on the top. And if we are looking at this particular wedge line, we'll see there is a first touch that has happened, there is a second touch that has happened, and I'm expecting that the bulls will bring the price up and create a third touch. We do not know exactly at what time that will happen. So I personally will keep this chart open at all times, and I'll keep on looking for at what point of time the price is coming and touching this. And if we are not able to break out of this, just like here, we may actually start pulling back once again. One more thing to notice on the 4-hour chart is that this was the breakout area and we came to the 11.75 area today. We could not get to the breakout area, and as a result of which we have created a breakout gap here. As soon as we get above this particular candle to create a new high, we will consider that this is a breakout gap that is still open. As soon as the price comes down to the low of today, I would expect that there will be some bulls between this 11.5 and the 8 area as well. Now, it is possible that we will do a double bottom here and keep going back up in order to keep this breakout gap open, and that will make the breakout gap much more stronger at that point of time. Now, the read-only link to all these charts are given in the description below. Along with that, you will also find the link to our free Discord server as well as our Facebook page, and you are very welcome to join there. Let us now take a look at the 1-hour ETH chart. So looking at the 1-hour chart, after this new high got created here, we had the first leg down, we went back up. This was the second leg down. So we completed the two-legged pullback here, and then this was the first leg up. After that, we came down again. So that was the third leg down here. And above this 5833 or the 35 area, we may actually see that the bulls have started to buy, and that will keep on taking the price to the upside, considering that this will become the second entry long at that point of time. I will keep this particular channel here. The price may get rejected right at this point at 5831 or the 5832 area. But if we actually try to break out of this, we may actually get to the top above 5840 and keep continuing to the upside. So if you see here, this was the first attempt to break out of 5840. This was the second attempt to break out of 5840. This was the third attempt to break out of 5840. This was the fourth attempt to break out of 5840. Now tomorrow, if we are going above 5840, that will be the fifth attempt. That might be actually successful in taking the price higher, and we may come and hit this wedge line to the top at some point of time during the day. So if you look here, we were doing a tight trading range right above the 1-hour EMA, which is supposed to push the price back up, and the price did go back up to the 5844 levels. But right after that, we got a severe rejection there, and we came down to the bottom of this channel, and then we tried to get back up again, but we could not hold above the channel and came down to the bottom once again. So we are in this particular trading range at this point of time. It is slightly slanted to the downside, but it's still looking like a bull flag. The hourly bar could never close below this 5819 level, which was the low of yesterday, and we have gone back up to the 5830 levels again. Now tomorrow morning, we will again come back and see what has the market done overnight, and based on that, we can take a call on the direction of the market. Now this 5818.75 area will continue to be a very strong support. This whole box will continue to be a very strong support. However, if we are closing below this box, then there is a possibility that we will come and hit this 5809 and to the levels farther on the downside. I will make some changes at these levels right here. I will keep a line here, and then I will draw a box right around this support area. So that is all we have on the 1-hour chart. Nothing major has happened here. We have just been moving sideways, and it is looking like a bull flag. So there is a big possibility that we will keep going to the upside. Now, if you see here, we closed one bar above the 1-hour EMA. We closed the second bar above the 1-hour EMA. Now we have kept the gap open to the 1-hour EMA. So as soon as we get above this double top, which is at 5833, we may come and touch this particular line at 5834.5 in this particular bar itself. And then we will see if we are breaking out of it and coming to the 5837 to the 40 area. But again, I do not trade overnight. I do not trade the Globex sessions. I trade only the RTH New York sessions. So based on the structure that we have tomorrow morning, we will take a look at what is happening. 8:45 a.m. EST every morning, we have a pre-market call. If you want to join that pre-market call, you will find the link of the Google Meet in the description below. Let us now go and take a look at the 5-minute RTH chart. So looking at the RTA chart, we had a gap down today, and then we did a two-legged move to the downside, then we did a two-legged move to the upside, and that is how the market continued to be in a trading range today. We were thinking that it will create a head and shoulder structure and it will break out of the 5818 area and keep on going downside and give us a measured move to the downside near the 5796 areas, but that never happened. And we got a good support at this particular wedge line. We had created another wedge line here, so we had a nested wedge here, and based on that, the price went back up again to the previous highs once again, but we are unable to get above this previous high at 34.25 by the close of the market. So we will now have to see if we are getting above this 34.25 line, and then we are getting to this 37 to the 40 area. We are breaking out of this particular trend line to the upside, reaching this previous 88, and we can keep going up. So tomorrow, if I am long somewhere here and then the price gets above the 40 area or the 41 area, I will keep my stop loss at that point of time right below this box, just to prevent the bears from taking away all my profit. And then again, if the price gets back up again, that will be a false breakdown. We can join the bulls again at that point of time and try to get the targets on the upside. On the downside again, if you see here, this was our strong support area, and below that strong support area we never found good traction. This was the only time where we found two consecutive bear bars closing below this particular support area, but then the bears were not interested to sell so low right here, and the bulls actually picked it up and took it up to 32. So for tomorrow, we will have to see that there is a strong breakdown below this particular box and we have a follow through. We are breaking down below this 11.5 area and we are continuing to come down to this 5806 to the 5803 area. We can actually find a very nice bounce here, but if this bounce does not happen, we will mostly come around to the 5794 to the 97 area and followed by the subsequent levels to the downside. On the upside again, we have to break above this 40 line strong and hold it. As soon as you see that there is a chance of a reversal around this 40 area, that will be the signal stating that we need to come out of our long trades at this point of time. Otherwise, we can continue to go above this 43.5 or the 44 area, which was the CPI high today, take out the 46 and get to the 52 level, then the 55 level, and above that the levels will be around 60 to 66, 73, 84 to 86, and then 94 to 96 on the upside. Again, this whole day was an inside day, and if we want to do a 1:1 of this whole inside day to the upside, then as we saw on the daily chart, we will be coming up to this 5876 level. So that is all the analysis I have at this point. With these, we will come back again tomorrow morning to take a look at where the market is positioned, what has happened overnight, and based on that, we can actually take a call in which direction the market is going to move. I will end this video here tonight, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.